Mr. Jack, the head of his time. A children's story. A byproduct of Stiffs Incorporated. One day, Mr. Jack awoke to find a head. He was a bit taken aback. This is not my head, thought Mr. Jack. And he puzzled for a moment. Or is it? He second thought, and quickly checked to see that his head was indeed in place. No, it most certainly is not mine, concluded Mr. Jack. But whose could it be? Perhaps I'll check that Tumblety chap down the road. It could be his. Besides, he owes me a gooseberry pie. Jack went to seek the rightful owner of the head. On his way to Mr. Tumblety's house, he ran into Mr. Utterson, the solicitor. "Oh, Mr. Utterson," he dirged, "do you think your doctor, friend Mr. Henry, has misplaced his head?" "Oh, no," replied the esquire. "He had an unfortunate mishap recently, with one of his heads left out in the sun, and now he is careful to keep them all under glass, so I am sure it is not his." And so Mr. Jack continued on his way to Tumblety's house. Next, he happened upon Esther Belle in front of her house of well repute. Perhaps I'll ask her, he figured. "Good day, Esther Belle. Do you know if one of the dames boarding her head?" asked Mr. Jack. "Oh, heavens, no. I am certain that none of them have. I know for a fact that each and every one of them follows the Druid system of physical culture." "Oh, well, I suppose not then," said Mr. Jack, for he knew that part of the Druid system of physical culture required the wearing of head straps bolted to the shoulders, so it was unlikely that any of Esther Belle's girls had lost her head. Mr. Tumblety was his last hope. He reached Mr. Tumblety's house and knocked on the door. He could almost taste the gooseberry pie. "Hello," shouted Mr. Tumblety as he emerged in his best Scotch-warming pants. "If it isn't my good friend. Head there. Would you like to come in and have some apple pie? Do I not owe you a pie anyway? I'm just cleaning up my pistols inside here. If only I had a head like that. All of mine are ragged and rotten. Is something wrong?" "You look a little peaked. I think maybe you need a shot of mandrake root and oil of morphia. Why don't you come in and get that apple pie I owe you?" Mr. Jack wanted to tell him that it was a gooseberry pie he owed him, but instead preferred that he not dream of imposing on such an impropitious day, and that Mr. Tumblety did not owe him a pie at all. He then excused himself and went on his way. "Bloated, besotted Yank and his apple pie," grumbled Mr. Jack. "I'd like to give him a shot of morphia right in his." But then Jack remembered that his mother said, "If you cannot think something nice about someone, then they should be dead." "But now I still have this," worried Mr. Jack. "Whatever shall I do with it?" "Ah, I've got it. I'll give it to the orphans down at Bleak House. They have so little, and it would mean so much to them. What a simply ripping idea." And off he went. Just then, he happened upon Miss Nichols, who appeared to be taking a kip by the side of the road. "Why, she has no head. She must have lost it, or has it lost her? At any rate, this may just be hers." And so he knelt down beside her and fitted the head onto her shoulders. And it fit just perfect. "Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack," Miss Nichols said graciously. "I truly feel very much awfully better now." And at this, Mr. Jack let out a rhyme. "Looky, look, look at the head that she took. This head's just right, and there's no blood at all. She truly is the whore that starts the fall." "And now to work," said Mr. Jack, and work he did. Back in his office, Mr. Jack put Miss Nichols' head upon his shelf. "Now then, that is much better. No strange heads in my office," said Mr. Jack. And with Miss Nichols' lovely napper in its place, Mr. Jack went back to his nap. And that is the story of the head of his time. The end.